Well, good afternoon, Durham. Hi, everyone. Since the gala last met, food prices have rocketed, the cost of fuel and energy is through the roof, mortgage payments and rent are going up and up. Everything is soaring except pay. Now, we call it a cost of living crisis, but this is a crisis for our class, not theirs. For them, record profits, record wealth for the billionaires, and record inequality. So let's be clear, this isn't a crisis because there isn't enough wealth, it's a crisis because they are hoarding all the wealth. And we'll see in the press, they're trying to spin it as wage price inflation. It's greed inflation. It's as simple as that. It's inflation not driven by workers' wages, but by corporate greed. So the next time they call for pay restraint, or the next time we see Tory ministers hitting out at greedy workers fighting for better pay, let's ask the question, why aren't they calling for profit restraints? Let's ask the question, why won't they condemn CEOs for taking record pay packages? Let's ask the question, why aren't they complaining about companies handing out millions of pounds in dividend deals? And let's ask why it is always workers who have to make the sacrifices while the rich get richer. Those are the questions we need to be asking. This year's gala is obviously dedicated to the incredible workers standing up, fighting back, and I want to give you my absolute solidarity. And as it has been made clear, it's not very fashionable for a Labour MP nowadays to stand up for workers. But let me say this, when NHS workers go on strike, I stand with them. When teachers go on strike, I stand with them. When railway staff, firefighters, posties, or anyone else goes on strike, I stand with them. Our political system has more than enough MPs to stand with the rich and the powerful, but as a Labour Member of Parliament, I believe my job is to represent the interests of the working class. The clue, I think, and I'm sure you'll agree, is in the name. So solidarity with all workers on strike, victory to the strikers, victory to the workers. I'll be honest, it's not an easy time for socialists in the Labour Party. People with our politics have been pushed to the edges and it's easy to feel dejected. But an anniversary this week reminds us why it's so important to keep on fighting. 75 years ago, the great Socialist Member of Parliament, Bevan, who others have spoken about, spoke here at the Durham Miners Gala. He was inspired by the mining communities he was raised in and he founded the NHS. And at its heart, he put a socialist principle that access to healthcare shouldn't depend on wealth, that everyone, no matter their class, no matter their race, no matter their nationality, every one of us should be cared for. And this universal comprehensive healthcare service was there to deliver that, publicly owned and paid for, free at the point of use, an oasis of socialism in a desert of capitalism. It's what people fought for. It's what socialists, trade unionists, working class and men and women fought for, and it's what a Labour government proudly built. It is our proudest achievement, and today that victory is under threat like never before. Once ranked the best healthcare system in the world, today it is fragmented, underfunded and privatised by stealth, and it is on its knees. We all know that, and they smell blood. They call for reform, code word for privatisation. So standing where the great Bevan once stood, I make a pledge to you, so long as I'm a Member of Parliament, I will fight for our NHS to be restored. I will fight for us to end all forms of privatisation, for us to secure funding and to give staff the pay rise they deserve, because clapping never pays the bills. And we can't stop there. Our NHS is loved because it demonstrates a different way of doing things. It shows what we can do when we take a service out of the market and run it for the public good. So I don't think we should just be defending that model, we need to extend it. I don't just want a national health service, I want a national care service, I want a national education service. And my God, I want rail, mail, energy in our public utilities, water back in public ownership. Run for our benefit, not their profit. I want the powers of the trade union movement strengthened with every single piece of anti-trade union legislation repealed. I want to live in a society where not a single person goes hungry at night or is homeless, where everyone's needs are met. And the rich and powerful ask the question, how will these radical demands, they call them, how will they be paid for? Well, here's my answer. They're going to pay for it. We're going to tax the rich to pay for it. There's an old name for that new caring society, and it's a name that has inspired past generations. It's inscribed on these beautiful banners that will proudly carry through the city today. And again, probably not very fashionable in my party at the moment, but that name is socialism. And as someone who believes a politician should be a signpost, not a weather vane, I'm still very proud to call myself a socialist and always will be. The big meeting, the Durham Miners Gala, shows the very best of our movement. It reminds us of the past we inherit, the shoulders that we stand on, and the future we strive to build. So as we look towards that future, I want to conclude with these words, and I said them in the very first speech I gave in Parliament. I want to say them again this time, not surrounded by political enemies, but surrounded by friends. This time, not a pledge to myself, but as a promise we make to every single one of us, to each other and to our comrades. 10 years ago, I was a teenager. I'm getting old, so help me out. I was a student and I never dreamed I'd be here today. But in 10 years' time, I want to look young people in the eye and say with pride that my generation faced 40 years of neoliberalism and we ended it. We faced rising racism and we defeated it. We faced the planet in peril and we saved it. We have our work cut out, but together we can do it. Thank you and solidarity.